Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're making some props, or I'm making some props, some alchemy flask, because that is the topic of something in my near future. For the first one, I've started with a sphere, cut off the top and extruded the remaining edge. I also copy pasted this right now because I need the model 2 times. The first one is the outside flask, which will get a very simple bluish texture with a lot of opacity, and the second one is the contents of said flask, which is a copy paste, a little bit smaller than the original, and obviously not to the full extent of the original flask. So it looks a bit empty, or it isn't filled to the brim. Next is that I gave the flask some simple ornaments, or some simple texture and on top, so it doesn't look just really like the simple flask. So in the start you saw the render with just the flask. At the end you will see a render with a bit of a character inside, as well as some more details to the flasks. But I didn't do much at this point in terms of details, simply because I don't want to overdo it, because at some point it's so much detail that you would lose focus of the actual render contents. Second flask is a square cut flask, and this is something I still am working on quite a bit, because the initial shape, so the difference between the flasks is the thickness of the neck, and this flask in comparison to the first one has a very thin neck. So this is something that I am currently working on, making this more aligned to the different flask types. So I'm still not fully done with it, but I'm at a point where I made the render and I'm okay with how it turned out. Yeah, working on the textures as well. For the first two flasks I cut both flasks in half, basically, which is okay because, which works, because in this case I because the texture is very transparent. As you can see, I'm also reworking a bit of the shape here before I add an ornament to this one as well. I wanted to go for like a ribbon around it, and as you can see, I've tried quite a bit to get a start on this. This was giving me a bit of trouble to just start, because copy pasting this meant that for some reason whenever I moved or shaped the edges, it would break up a bit and move, and this was absolutely not, this was really hard to work with. So I at some point deleted the attempt of the ribbon again and started new, in this case with a simple cylinder. For the flask I started with a cube, and for the ribbon I used the cylinder as the basis. Yeah, this is really more or less trial and error with the ribbon. This was a bit of playing around, trying around, seeing what works. Also, I do not have a texture on the ribbon yet. So in the render at the end, but it has just a standard texture that puts on stuff that doesn't get a UV map, so it's not perfect, but it works for the render. yeah, it still means I will have to revisit that and put the actual UV map on top of it. Just in case you ever forget it, you can put a simple color on this, even if you forgot, but you can't put different colors in different parts as long as you don't do the UV maps for these. So usually this puts everything in one big UV map, unless you specify it otherwise. Last flask, at least for today, is a bit diamond shaped. Had a big belly, has a bit bulgy in the middle. Yeah, same as the second flask. This has a very thin neck, so this is something I will probably revisit at some point and yeah, make the neck a bit thicker. Also, this one doesn't yet have a an ornament or some kind of yeah, detail, so it's just the flask so far. As you can see, the top is really very simply just grasp the outer ring of faces and extruded this. What I forgot with this one was actually clothing the bottom, so this is something I had to do. And I decided to make this flask like 3/4 full. So this is why they all have a different level of how filled they are. Yeah, overall interesting thing. This is also something you will probably do if you work in 3Ds. Just make some, not working on models, but sometimes just working on some assets. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're all healthy and okay. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, like the video, and see you guys around.